In this episode, we're going to be working on several different tanks, including a first for the Nook, which is going to be a dirted tank. Never done one before. I'm going to be setting that up in the fish room and primarily using it for propagating water plants, aquatic plants. But first, let's take a look at this here. This is my 55-gallon African themed display tank. So it's not a biotope, but it does have a West African theme. I got a school of Congo tetras in here right now. I was going to try to breed these guys. I had them separated, and I was waiting for them to grow up a little bit bigger and see if I couldn't get them to spawn, but I think the size of this school is big enough. This is all of them. I put I had 2 other males and 2 females in a different tank, and I moved them all over here last night. I put together a DIY CO2 system over here. A little bit of a mad scientist project right here. Got the CO2 diffuser down here. I don't know if the bubbles are showing up, but it seems to be working pretty good. I have a circulation pump I'm going to put above that to try to circulate the tank a little bit better, keep them bubbles in there a little bit longer, and I also got a new light as well. As far as filtration, all I really have in here at the moment is this one sponge filter, basically using it as a water polisher to keep the water nice and clear and clean. But I do have well over 3 inches of substrate and lots of surface material on the driftwood and all the stone and plants and everything, which is all part of the filtration as well as the cleanup crew. I got shrimp and snails. If you look down here, the bottom is just littered with all these empty shells. These tetras have actually been catching them and eating them. They're sucking the snail right out of the shell. Wasn't expecting that, which I like that to keep the snail population down. Not all of the plants that are in here are from Africa. I just stuck in here whatever I had. Some of them are. But I did pick up a African water fern I thought I was going to put in here. However, when I got it home and was looking it up, it gets a little too big. It does grow slow though, but I don't want to put it in here because over time it will get too large. I have a piece of locally harvested driftwood I'm going to attach it to and put it into one of the other tanks in the fish room. We'll do that later. There's a 300-watt adjustable heater in the back of the tank there with an air stone directly under it. And over here is another heater I have as well. I just put that in here to take some of the workload off of it to prolong the life of the larger one, the more expensive one. This is the light that's going to be going on the tank, and the light that's on there now will be going into the fish room where the planet aquarium's going. It's a 40-gallon breeder, and the light that's on there now is going to be moved into there. I had to figure out how to use it. I can change the color spectrum, and there's also a built-in timer. And here's a circulation pump I'm using. It's only rated for a 20 to 40-gallon tank. I'm just trying to create a little bit of a flow through the tank is all. Well, I threw the food in there now, so that's floating all around, but those air bubbles are making their way all the way over to the other side of the tank now. I really like the light right now, just as it is actually. I mean, that's nice and bright. I can see in there. The water's pretty clear. Alright, so I already took the light that was on here and I put it on the tank that we're going to be working on now, the dirted tank. And that's over in the fish room. We'll go into there right now. I got most of the supplies and materials that we'll be using in there already. This is the fish room. I'm going to be setting tanks up on here. I'm trying to make like some pretty self-sufficient filterless tanks, you know, up here just for betas. Could be my beta rack, another beta rack. I like betas. But this is the tank here over here. This 40-gallon breeder down here. I got a 150 watt heater for it. It's adjustable. The first layer of substrate will be this topsoil right here, at least an inch, maybe a little bit more. And then I'll be using pool filter sand and black blasting sand. I got some here already, it's mixed up. I'm gonna have to go out on the porch and rinse out a bunch more. I don't think this is nearly enough. I want at least a 2-inch layer on top of the topsoil. And then right here, I just got a bucket of all old filters that were donated to me. I'm gonna have to sort through this and see what works and get something hooked up onto there. So I'm gonna go out on the porch right now and clean up some more sand, and I'll deal with these filters off camera. Got some pool filter sand. And some black diamond blasting sand, mixing them together, and all I do is stick a garden hose in there and rinse it out. I fill the bucket up about halfway, so there's plenty of room for the water. I work it all the way down to the bottom, keep stirring it up, and I just keep doing this until the water's crystal clear. Might as well clean up some more of it while I'm out here doing it. I can get a nice even consistency of the color by mixing them right in the same towel like this. And you know, never do this in your house. You don't want to get this stuff into your plumbing. Just gonna get this soil in here now. I do have a 55-gallon tank that was given to me, and that will be another dirted tank. I was using Fluval Stratum. It's an aquatic soil for most of my tanks, and I'm going to continue for the smaller ones, but it's kind of expensive. Like, I probably would have ended up needing at least $100, $150 worth of this stuff. This right here, this bag wasn't even $10. And I know you're supposed to you know, really clean it out, put it through a like a strainer or on a screen or something. And I'm just going to do this and see what happens. Maybe I'll do that with the 55-gallon when it gets here. I should have asked. I was just on a live feed with watching Father Fish. I should have asked how important it was to clean it out and what could happen if you don't, but I didn't. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna moisten it a little bit. So this is not a tutorial. This is my first attempt at a dirted tank. I got about 2 inches of soil and 2.5 inches of sand. I did watch a bunch of videos on this, and the videos I watched, the people had multiple tanks already set up, and there were different ways that they were doing it. Some cleaned the soil, some did not. I didn't. And some will get the soil just damp, whereas others will turn it into a like a slurry. They get it real wet, and they let it sit for a day or two to let the excess ammonia gas off of the soil. So this isn't a display tank or nothing. It's just going to be for growing plants. I put the paper towels in a bowl in here to try to mitigate how much I move that sand around. I don't want to blow it all around. I don't want any of that soil coming up. So again, this is not a tutorial. This is just what I'm doing right now. I'll be doing more dirted tanks. I'll see what works for me, what don't. Leave some comments down as far as what you see me doing and what you think, you know, especially if you have experience and stuff with it. What should I expect to happen with what I did? So right here is the tank I got those two cichlids in, Crebensis cichlids. They're in this cave over here. She's got a nice pink belly, so I'm hoping they're gonna spawn. But this is where I'm gonna be putting the African fern. This is that piece right here. I already gave it a bath in some diluted bleach, rinsed it several times, and it's been soaking for a few days. It still floats though, so I'm gonna have to set rocks on it to keep it in the tank. I'm gonna set it just like this in there. It's got a nice little spot here for a cave or whatever. The cichlids will like this. And this is the fern right here. It gets pretty big. It will get huge actually. I'm gonna use some super glue. I'm gonna put a piece of it right here. And I got a couple little rhizomes here as well. I'll find the spot. I'll probably put one right there. So I'm just going to glue these on. I'm using Aquarium Safe Super Glue gel. A little bit on there. I don't even know if it's going to show up or not. But the lighting's not too good in this room. That's plenty. I'm just going to hold it here for a moment until it dries. The wood's wet. As soon as the super glue comes in contact with water, it actually dries really fast. So I think they'll be happier now. They'll have a lot more cover in here. There's a little bit more plant material. I threw a handful, I believe it's some kind of weapons up here, just floating. But they have another cave. I don't know if you can see it. There is another cave. So hopefully they'll be more comfortable and they'll spawn. Like I said, she has a real nice pink belly on her. I don't know, maybe another month or two. I should have that other tank up and start putting stuff in it, that 55 gallon I would think. And hopefully they've spawned by then successfully. I know it can take 2 or 3 tries. But this will get moved out of here, this piece of driftwood with the fern. This is way too small in here too. I just needed to stick it in somewhere. And over here now, I will get some beneficial bacteria. I got 2 different sponges. One from, each of them are from different tanks. And I'm just gonna stick them in here and clean them off. And that's how I'm seeding this tank with some beneficial bacteria. I know, don't look pretty, but it serves a purpose. So I did make it to the fish store, and I picked up, they had a small school of these cherry barbs. That's all they had. I bought them all. I would have liked a few more females than males, but I'm pretty happy with them. They look nice. That's what I'm going to put in here to cycle the tank. And I did get some plants in here too as well. So I hope they're happy in here. You know, it's a nice sized tank for 10 of these little nano fish, 40 gallon breeder. So, you know, it'd be great if you guys liked the video, hit that like button and maybe leave a comment for me.